What's the most popular candy bar in the world? Snickers, of course. Everywhere in the world, Snickers. In my first book, which is for sale over there, I came up with M&M ice cream. Now, you've all eaten ice cream, M&M ice cream or Snickers ice cream or Butterfinger or Reese's, any of those ice creams around wherever you visited because they're popular. And more likely than not, when you have Snickers ice cream, it's vanilla ice cream with Snickers in it. And you get the hard pieces of Snickers. Or M&M ice cream, a vanilla ice cream with M&Ms thrown into it at whatever stage. I thought, being the best ice cream maker in the world, why can't we make Snickers ice cream and M&M ice cream? Make the cream into that flavor. So I came up with a way to do it. And my first effort is in the book, and it's M&M ice cream, which we still sell today. That book was written 6 years ago, whatever, still sell it today. However, I decided to go into Snickers ice cream. So, excuse me for one, I have to go off camera.
Go right ahead.
In the freezer, is this yours? If not, you can have it. The method I use for making incredible Snickers ice cream, I take Snickers bars. I buy them at Sam's Club or any large box food place, Restaurant Depot, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco, and they sell boxes of 48 Snickers bars in a box. And I take them out, I put wrapper and all on a cutting board, and I give it 3 cuts or so. And then I wind up with these little pieces of Snickers. And then I freeze them. After freezing them, they're like little pebbles. Once I freeze them, I take the quantity I need and put them in a Ninja, which is a blender for our age now. It's 6 blades instead of the little thing on the bottom. The little thing on the bottom won't do it. It won't make what we need. But the Ninja does, and I don't get paid for this. Why not? I'm selling Ninjas here. I have 5 of them at the store because they're great and I never want to be without one. However, after you put them in the Ninja, what you have is this. It's very tiny particles of a Snickers bar. This is Snickers bars. And anything will work. Butterfinger, Baby Ruth, Clark bars. They still make Clark bars?
Yeah.
Okay, Clark bar, anything. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try to infuse this into this so that we don't have vanilla ice cream with pieces of Snickers in it, which to me is I don't enjoy that. So my recipe today for Snickers ice cream. How much should I use? 5? 5 quarts?
There's a 12-quart machine, so 5 quarts.
All right, I'll use 5 quarts of my normal batch. I have Steve's 24-quart machine, which is next to my wife. I love the machine. Actually,
don't say it. Don't say it. Rose is watching.
Okay, so we're going to use about 5. Well, not about. We'll use 5 quarts of mix. And remember the art and the science, okay? So you don't have to get a micrometer to see that you have exactly what you need. You'll do that in the tasting part, which is, in my opinion, vital. Okay, we're going to make sure the gate is closed because we've all done that. And then we'll pour this into the machine. And it's not, a lot of people are intimidated by those bladders, but it's not bad. Once you use it once or twice, it'll be easy. What's that? A sale on the second floor?
I think so.
All right, mix. Vanillas. We'll get into vanillas in the question and answer part of today's show, but suffice it to say I'm mooching off of Steve's vanilla today. And I use, in all my ice creams, I use 1 ounce of vanilla per quart of mix, which is a very high ratio. But I love vanilla, and vanilla is a great food enhancer. So I'm just going to pour that vanilla in. How many ounces? 5 ounces. Good man. That's why you're in the front row. Now we have to add our Snickers powder. What happened?
It's blocking the camera.
Ah. Do we have to start over?
No, we got you from the other camera.
Okay, the Snickers powder. This is just about 2 quarts of Snickers powder. How many bars is that? I would say it's about 24 bars. I know you right away you thought about cost. Don't worry about the cost. The profit in all these products, what he's making, what I'm making, allows you not to have to count pennies when you're making it. Even though Jerry over there wants to know to the penny what it's costing him. All right, we're going to turn this on so that we get a nice mixture, and this will infuse into the mix. This will turn white mix, or vanilla mix they call it in the business. This will turn this into Snickers mix, and the machine does it. A lot of machines can't do this. They have plastic going on. These are bulletproof. And again, I'm not selling his machines. That's up to him. But I use it, and they're tanks. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to turn it on to, this is called super premium ice cream. It sounds very egotistical, but that's just the name that's applied to the ice creams that I sell and most places sell, right? Super premium ice cream.
Yeah.
And look, lo and behold, super premium ice cream. How convenient. So we'll put it on and we'll start it, and this should go at 234?
About 165.
165.
Yeah.
Just like I thought. And I'm going to have to turn my back to put this in.
That's all right. We'll get you on the side camera.
Oh, okay. Oh. So we'll put this in, and because it's been pulverized, that's the word I was looking for. You pulverize it. It's easy to put in. I wish they could see this. The key is freezing the candy bars before you put them in the Ninja. That's what enables. If you don't do that, if you don't freeze them, you can't do this. It becomes one big sludge in the blender. You can probably do it in a Cuisinart too. They're pretty good. Loosen this up a little. In the drive over here today, it settles. This isn't frozen, by the way, because it's easier to have those nice candy bar flavors come out when they're not frozen.
So you froze it first to put it through the Ninja.
Pieces to put them in the.
And then after that, you don't have to freeze the powder.
Right.
Okay. It's always safer to refrigerate everything in the food industry. So after you've ground it up, yeah, put it in the refrigerator. Cap it so it doesn't absorb moisture. So now for every particle of dairy product, there is a particle of flavor right next to it. When you buy ice cream made on any other machine in the world, all they can do is add the flavors as it's coming out, what they call folding it in. It sounds real nice, but it's still vanilla ice cream with Snickers in it. This, your taste buds say, I taste the dairy and I also taste the Snickers right away. So it's much more intense than any other ice cream you've had. I used to make it.
Because I'm so anal, this isn't even good enough for me. I want more flavor. If you come to the store or go through my class, flavor is king. Flavor is even more important than texture. I want that flavor to knock your socks off. So I looked at the ingredients on Snickers, and the two main ingredients are caramel and peanuts. It's coated with chocolate, but there's enough of that. So I add a little caramel, and the caramel I found recently that is just so good is sea salt caramel. It just makes you eat more, which is a good thing. So I dump this in, and I also add more nuts. Can't go wrong, right?
Peanuts?
Peanuts.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Planters salted peanuts. And I shop at Restaurant Depot, Sam's Club, Walmart, wherever, and I use peanuts so I get a big thing. The caramel I buy by the case. It's just, once you're into the business, you'll shop at the big stores because that's where you get your best buy. When I first opened, I didn't have room to store anything. Very small store. 8 feet by 10 feet was my first ice cream store, and I had no storage at all, so I had to run out, get what I need, come back. So the caramel is in there, and now we'll add some nuts. And I just add it all into the machine. I got to tell you, this machine has made me $1 million. They're just the greatest. Okay, now it's pretty well mixed up, and it should taste pretty much like a Snickers bar, like what I want. Yes. How many Snickers bars? Well, it's probably half of a box, and the box is 48 bars, so it's probably 24 bars.
Don't forget to freeze it.
But the recipe, what?
Don't forget to freeze it.
Right. The recipe, okay. So now I'm going to turn on the refrigeration. At what speed?
That stays the same. Super premium.
I'm good.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
running.
The exact recipe for this, because this young lady asked how many Snickers bars. Well, instead of how many bars, I used 2 quarts of ground up Snickers bars. Because what I do is I take the cases of Snickers bars, the 48 bar cases, I have them stacked up, and I just slice through them and put them into big containers, not little ones, but big ones in these pieces. And I cut them up. Usually I'm going to get, they come those double bars, for fat people like me, and I hit each of them twice. So I'm getting 6 pieces out of a double bar. It makes it easier for the Ninja to be effective. And then I have this size all over the freezer because it's a big seller. And then after I do that, I freeze them and then grind them up. And I use, in mine, 4 quarts of ground up Snickers bars. This is a half batch, so I'm using 2 quarts of, you can do the pounds, I don't know how many pounds it is. And then I'm using 1/3 of a quart extra peanuts and 1/2 a quart of extra caramel.
If I can interject one small thing.
Sure.
Because the food allergies are true. They do exist. I didn't believe it at first, but I've talked to enough allergists that children nowadays do have peanut allergies, some of them. I would make this the last flavor of the day after everything else because now you've introduced peanuts into it. And if you did have a child who is hypersensitive to peanuts, you wouldn't want any overlap into another flavor. So using the peanuts, you make this at the end of the day, and then all these parts, I make this look so light, it's about 25 pounds. All these parts can come off. I just have little clips holding them. And this can all go in the dishwasher or the sink and all that, and then when you're finished at the end of the day, you just leave it to air dry on your table. But I never really believed the peanut allergy until I talked to a couple of doctors, and they basically said the reason you don't have peanut allergy and Jeff and I don't have peanut allergy is we grew up petting dogs, eating dirt,
Drinking out of the garden hose.
Drinking out of the garden hose. Kids today aren't doing that. They are in such a sterile environment, and we're so overusing products like Purell and Clorox to clean the counters that they're not being exposed to the germs that we were. And the allergists that I spoke to, because I just couldn't believe, I thought this was helicopter parents, making this stuff up. And they said, no, it's very real. And the fact that the children are not being exposed to it like we all were, it's coming out. It's got to come out somewhere. That's the way nature is. It's coming out as a peanut allergy or a food allergy. So it is a real thing, and the safest way to handle that is just to rinse the machine at the end of the day. Just a little simple trick to keep in mind.
I'll keep it in mind.
All right.
All right. Constantly tasting, never double dipping. It's our motto up on.
Jeff, I once taught a lady how to make ice cream, and after every batch, she took a spoonful of ice cream. And and I said, I got to warn you not to fall in love with your own product, because do you realize we made 18 batches today, and you took a taste of each one? Well, each taste was an ounce. She ate 18 ounces of ice cream today. And she said, I didn't mean to eat 18 ounces. I didn't do that. Well, yeah, every time you tasted it. So taste it once,
Nothing
fall
wrong
in
with
love
that.
with it, and then just, stay away from it.
Nah, keep tasting it.
All right, then you can join me out walking Sammy at lunch.
There you go. Risk reward. All right, any questions about Snickers ice cream? This can be repeated with Butterfinger, Clark bars, a Baby Ruth, any candy bar. Because I started with M&M, and this didn't occur to me until last year. And now it zooms up in the ratings. Yes, sir. Good point. He asked about the freezing of the candies, and it's absolutely essential. Think about it. If you took Snickers bars off the shelf and you tried to put them in a food processor or a Ninja and you turned it on, you'd have caramel. It would gum up the machine. It would gum everything up. That's the brilliance of this. By freezing it and then pulverizing it, you get dust. You literally get the smallest particles, which are soluble in the mix then. I could take the mix and the bucket of small pieces, put them together and keep whisking them, and they would dissolve because they're so fine. If you made chunks, like the chunks I have, even cutting them smaller, like you see in those yogurt stores at the end of the line, little Snickers bars, and threw them into your ice cream, well, it's useless. That's just silly. You're not getting Snickers ice cream or M&M ice cream or Clark bar. You're not getting that. So the brilliance of this is to dissolve it into the mix and make the actual ice cream, Snickers ice cream. And I have people in the store all the time coming in and asking, is it Snickers ice cream, is that vanilla or chocolate? And the girls tell them, no, it's Snickers ice cream. And they don't understand it until they taste it. And just like you will taste it.
Do you want a 2.5 gallon tub?
What?
You want a bigger tub?
Oh, whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay.
This is good.
Thanks. I always check to see it's ready. When you pull it, that's more of the art in the business. Steve tends to pull it later than I tend to pull it sooner. I can't hear him.
Is there a time where you can no longer add after you taste test?
What's the question?
To a point where you can't add?
Is there a question? There's a point where you can't add any more product into it.
Yes, there's definitely a point. I usually do it. See, Steve had to remind me to put the refrigeration on, because once the refrigeration's on, I'm pretty much ready to go. You could always add a little more vanilla, a liquid thing. You could always do that, but I don't.
I figure about 3-4 minutes into the batches where you're going to hit the point where it won't go in. If you do wait too long and you pour in, say, a bunch of M&Ms and they hang up in the lid here, all you do is open the gate, bing, bing, up, down, that quick. You make a momentary hole up here in the mix, and it sucks in the M&Ms, and you say to yourself, don't do it again. So yes, you can go too far before it's so thick that things won't go in. But for the most part, we're putting everything right into the machine.
Right into the machine.
A good example is walnuts. If I put whole walnuts into the machine right at the beginning, it'll break whole walnuts into quarter-sized pieces. Well, that's what I want in ice cream. I don't want giant walnuts.
Uniform pieces either.
And the other thing is, whole walnuts may cost, making up a number, $30. Walnut pieces might be $10. So I can buy the cheaper walnut pieces, because why put whole walnuts into a machine that's going to grind them into a cheaper walnut pieces?
Another benefit is when we use chocolate chips a lot, everybody does, and they sell mini chips and large chips and then chunks. And by putting them in these machines, what it does is it gives your product a great dissemination of the chips, all different sizes. So you'll get whole ones, you'll get small ones, you'll get micro ones, all different sizes, because the machine does the work for you. It's a beautiful thing. When to pull the ice cream. Steve will tell you to pull it when it creates a break, right?
Yeah.
I tend to pull it sooner. There's a method, a reason for that, but we won't go into it now. But you can pull it whenever you think it's ready. You can overdo it, and you can underdo it. And there's no time. You can't say, okay, 3 minutes, 45 seconds. That doesn't work, because the machine is different temperatures throughout the day, different products in the machine. This is almost ready. Oh, thanks.
I was at Penn State, so I had to label everything.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're almost ready. I don't know how long that was. I didn't
time it.
Okay, I don't time
Probably
them
about
either.
8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Yeah, probably about 8, 9 minutes.
One thing you'll see on other, the Italian batch freezers, which are mostly Chinese parts, and I refuse to buy anything from China. I won't even sell to mainland China. Lose a big market, but I just am not going to sell to mainland China. They have a device on there that shuts off the compressor. I invented that in 1972, but didn't pursue it. It's called an amp meter on a batch freezer, and what it's doing is it's reading the load on the motor. And at a certain load, boom, it shuts off the refrigeration, like right now. However, they have it set for vanilla. If you, it's set for vanilla, so it's always going to shut off with perfect vanilla. But when you add candy or strawberries, you're adding sugar. And the more sugar in a product, the longer the freezing time. So this product might take 10 minutes, vanilla takes 8 minutes. Who wants a machine that automatically shuts off at 8 minutes and you got to go back and turn it on? It's not ready. So I can put 111 years, I can put anything on my machines I want. But I don't put gadgets on. And to me, an automatic shut-off is a gadget. When Paula makes a birthday cake, and there are 13 shopping days left till my birthday. When Paula makes a birthday cake, she sets it for 23 minutes, sticks a fork in it, and if it sticks to the fork, it's not ready. If the fork comes out clean, it's ready. It's the same thing here. If she had an automatic timer on her oven that shut it off at 23 minutes, the cake might not be ready, because every formula is slightly different.
Ready?
Ready. Let's go for it.
Come and get Snickers ice cream.